Hello, I'm John Furrier with theCUBE. We are here at the New York Stock Exchange studio. Of course, we have our Palo Alto studio and our guest here coming in from Silicon Valley. We're going to talk about AI and the conversation of AI as it's shifting from models and tools to outcomes and autonomy. We're moving beyond applications that just inform to intelligent agents that perform. Welcome to the AI Agents in Action series brought to you by Google Cloud, the show where we go beyond the hype and talk to the leaders who are making it happen. We got Yash Bhavnani here, Vice President, Product Manager, Head of AI at Box, a company who's leaned in from day one on AI and now agentic as the business starts to be rebuilding under the agent wave. Yash, thank you so much for being part of the series, our leader series on AI in action.
John, great to be here. Super excited to talk about agents and just what Box is doing and how we're transforming work.
We've been following on theCUBE, many conversations with you guys have been leaned in from day one on AI, and obviously you guys have great impact in your customers. What's the opportunity for your customers as you guys see it right now? Because again, we're moving into that third scaling law that NVIDIA talks about a lot around deep thinking, beyond reasoning. So you got this whole nother level we're hitting. What is the opportunity for the customers and the industry?
It's massive. This is possibly the most fundamental paradigm shift we're going to see in the way things work. So first of all, if you just take a thought back in terms of just all the content and all the data that enterprises and customers have, most of it, in fact, 90% of content that an organization has, whether it's HR documents, whether it's product documents, whether it's financial documents, they're all unstructured, meaning that they're not in a beautiful table. They're not easily extractable, and which means that even just accessing your own information, being able to build products, drive workflows, all of that, which is like the heart of a company that runs on content, has been hard to access, hard to use. It requires manual reviews. It requires you to read multiple documents. It requires you to know where things are. And I think AI fundamentally just unlocks this by bringing together this capability of you can now use AI across this 90% unstructured content that any enterprise may have and extract what are the insights you need for that task. And I think this is just going to drive the next wave of better decision making, higher velocity, and just more of what an enterprise can do now of all the things that they couldn't do before.
We just had the closing bell here at the NYSE. We just heard the bell here at the stock exchange on the options side. And the numbers coming in from the cloud is looking really good. The ecosystem is changing. Yep. Talk about the partnership and the strategic why behind Google Cloud, because it's not just agents. There's also the development environments, A2A, Vertex, there's security solutions. Google has that integration piece and this idea of working and integrating in with the platform. Talk about the strategic why with Google Cloud.
Yeah, absolutely. When we think, there's a couple things we're doing at Box, and this is where the partnership really flourishes, right? So first and foremost, fundamentally, as you think of the world of agents, what are the best agents, right? When you think of what are the best agents have the best context. And Box has that. Box has knowledge, all the knowledge of your entire enterprise. And if you think about that, you can now use AI, build an agent, use agents with this context. And the richer that context is, the better the agents are. Mm-hmm. And the reason that I'm touching on agents is because it's super locked in to how we're using Google Cloud on multiple layers. So first, just Gemini as a model and Vertex AI. One of the tools that we provide, one of the agents that we provide is our Box AI data extraction agent and classification agent. So these agents, what do? I'll walk you through an example. If you had a 100-page lease agreement and you had multiple of those and you wanted to drive in and say, well, when was this written? When does it end? What's the value of the contract? Instead of now parsing through 100 pages, the AI can just extract that information for you. And this technology is just super key when we think of taking unstructured data and making it feel structured. And so for this, we use Gemini and Vertex AI, And it's a great partnership because Gemini is one of the frontier models that is multimodal in nature, which means that when you're looking through a lease agreement, when you're looking through a document and it has images, text, table, we can use Gemini and the Vertex AI to really power Box AI extraction. So that's been a huge partnership, very successful. We've had Box AI extract the API available for standard as well as enhanced extract agent for a while now. And it's one of the most useful tools that our customers have really, really loved from our AI solution. So that's one. The second one is at Box, we think of ourselves, and I invite many other companies to think of themselves as a valuable link in the chain, right? And so here, having the H8 protocol with Gemini Enterprise is just critical because it allows you to use Box and Box AI in light with other agents in the cross ecosystem. So this means if you're running like a marketing campaign, you can pull in documents from using the Box AI agent and then A2A and go into your marketing records using another agent from another company. And sort of now you really get to the power of a enterprise can solve problems with data sets from different storages and use the power of AI on top of that. So that's a key one. Security, as Box is known for its security, for making sure data is always secure. It's a promise that it's a principle that we hold. And a big part of this is we also use Google Cloud Security and KeySafe to really control the encryption of keys, making sure AI plus enterprise grade data is always protected and useful for your collaboration. And finally, I also want to call out just a partnership we've had with Box, Google, as well as Slalom, where you can build an entire solution, right? Combining, we have the intelligent content, Google's AI capabilities, and the consulting experience to like generate like a solution that can go across multiple data sets and drive a document generation or actionable insights across context. So these are some of the ways that the partnership has been extremely, incredibly valuable, not just for us, but for our customers.
We've been covering a lot of these use cases as the AI wave has been going through. And it's interesting now we're at the time where even at the top when I was mentioning, it's the performance side of it, the work being done by the agents is really what everyone's talking about in the industry. You guys have been setting the table. You got the platform, you got all those features, the security, all the, I will say plumbing, but like all that work that cuts across the different databases and the data and the content. As we start to see the AI working and the value that's presented, it's kind of becomes obvious, right? So it's like, okay, it's working, it's worth it. What are some of the use cases you're seeing now, right now with the agents? Because A2A allows agents to talk to each other. What is Box seeing with the customers on use cases? Because now you got next level agents happening. So they're doing work, and it's not that it's going to replace jobs. I mean, some people just don't want to do the jobs. I mean, there's a lot of grinding that goes on in a lot of this work. What are some of the things? Can you share some examples where you're starting to see really clear lines to value? And then how does the agents help the work get done or perform?
Yeah, and I love that you touched on sort of this point of like, oh, is it going to replace, a knowledge worker? And my stance is actually it makes a knowledge worker way more powerful because what we've been seeing with AI is not that AI is replacing work, but that AI is enabling you to do the work that you never were able to do before. You never had time to do before. It was too burdensome to do, or it was too manual and you were doing it, but not happily, right? And that's the sweet spot of like where we've seen agents come in and bring huge value when they're contextual with the right context for certain customers. And we've seen a lot of these examples. I mean, I can walk you through a few, John. One of my favorite ones is in insurance, right? So if you think about file claiming, claims files, you have so many claim files that come. And it is all unstructured, and it may be different. Some may have, lots of data. Some may have pictures. Some may not. And so there's a variance across these documents, right? And not only that, it's proprietary. It's not something that you want to it's not something you can share. It's very proprietary data. And so one of the things we've worked with our insurance customers on is using Box AI extract agents, right? So now rather than a human manually and begrudgingly having to go through multiple different claims file, you can use Box AI extract, and you can even configure this agent to say, okay, here are the 1,000 claim documents I have. For each of these, I just need to know 5 or 10 or 20 things, right? I need to know the date of the claim. I need to know, was the claim accepted? I want to know the amount. What were the parts? Like there could be different like fields, what we call fields in terms of what's the information you want. And not only that, you can even nuance these fields, right? You can say, well, actually, the end date of a claim is not the end date that is recorded in the document, but 30 days after, because that's our policy, right? And the AI can take that as a prompt and make sure that when it generates these insights or these extractions, that's conveyed. And so we've had a customer that used our AI extraction technology to go through thousands of these claim documents, right? To extract the right fields. And now, guess what? What they can do when it comes time for compliance, when it comes time for reporting, they no longer have to sit there, look through 1,000 documents and make a spreadsheet. They can simply query because now these insights are attached to the document securely in Box, and you can simply ask, what were all the claims that were filed in the last month over the price range of X thousand? And that went from hours and hours of work to like a few minutes, if that. So that's something that, we've seen extensive value in, which is just like taking a bunch of unstructured data, extracting out the insights, and then being able to use that for reporting or just compliance. Another one is marketing, actually. So generating pitch decks or content briefs requires blending data from like public as well as commercial sources, right? Because you may have your brand details, you may have your brand guidelines in Box, but you also want maybe some commercial data or some other sources from whether it's the web or something else. And here, being able to sort of use this agent to agent interaction and say, here's Box AI agent, and I'm going to pull in, my branding guidelines, my policies, and all of that from my Box content that is dynamic and constantly changing, and also be able to query another database or another or the web to generate a really sound pitch deck or a brief. That's been a huge just in terms of marketing and just like really up leveled the type of work that customers have been able to do. So that's the second one. Don't know if those resonate, but I have a third one for sales, which is really also key because every customer, every company in the world has to sell, right? And so if you think about it, if you think of the sales flow, you might have contracts in Box, securely stored. And then you might have some other like sales records in a CRM. And over time, what you need to do is build a plan using the content you have in Box, the content you have in another data store. And this is where this sort of partnership and building a solution across two agentic frameworks has been super valuable because now you don't have to dig here and then go dig here because the agent can do some of that work for you. And you can just spend your time actually thinking about what the plan is or the strategy should be.
Yeah, and to your point about the human in the loop, the knowledge worker, they're more productive. I mean, I hear
Yeah.
you talking about those different examples. It's like in my mind's like, okay, that's a different department. That's a different department. That's a different
Yeah.
department. And everything's generative now. So you're cutting across data
Yeah.
that that you guys have in the platform for the customers. And then the agents are making it faster runtime assembly, if you will, for getting an answer, right? Or getting something
100%.
accurate, right? So
Yeah.
this is a
100%.
time savings. I mean, the unlock is okay, time,
Yep.
productivity. I mean, imagine doing a pitch deck and actually having like details from contracts that just closed or a
Huge.
sales pipeline report. I mean,
Yeah.
this makes everybody faster and almost having like a brain ready there for you. I mean, this is where AI is going. And you got to set the table because it's not overnight. So share your thoughts on that because I think a lot of people think they see those stats, oh, all these AI projects are failing. which I don't buy that survey, by the way. But as Thomas Edison said, I failed 2,000 times before I discovered electricity. But there are use cases where you can get the workflows nailed down. Can you share your experience on the Box side? Because you got all the documents, you got all the
Yeah.
content, and you're building in with Google Cloud. How, what's the best practice, I guess, is a
Yeah.
question for
It,
setting this up and getting value immediately on the table? Because that's the key in all this.
Personally, John, I've been just so excited at where we are in terms of box content and AI. If there's one place where AI can be a paradigm shift, truly help people every single day with the most gnarly things, it's unstructured content in the enterprise with AI, which is personally why I'm so excited about this space. It's truly where I think the rubber hits the road with AI here. And this is the moment for it, right? So every day I talk to customers and they'll go through a list of problems, like well, all these problems and all these magical AI things that I've been hearing about. And I always start with two questions, which is like, hey, what is one of the most gnarly, boring, annoying problems that nobody wants to do that they're doing right now? What's the boring stuff? And they're like, huh? I'm like, yeah, what's the boring stuff? What's the manual reviews, the looking through 100 documents, the reading 100, things? What's that hard stuff? And can we put some of our Box AI agents on that, whether it's metadata extraction, whether it's some of our other agents, right? So that's always the first question. And the second question is, tell me the hardest problem. Tell me the problem you haven't solved yet. Whether that's, to your example, John, earlier, where it's, well, we want to build a pitch deck, but every day we're getting new things and the content is dynamic. And oh, hold on, we've got a record over here that we also want to include. And our brand guideline is changing and our go-to-market messaging is changing. And how do you do this, right? And that's another place where you want to apply AI, where it's really hard. We don't know how to do it. So can AI give us a step forward? One thing I will say is you have to have a sense of patience with AI, right? So I've seen magic where it's like like you build an agent, it's awesome, it works the first time, awesome, like that's great. But I've also seen that there is usually a sense of you have to just iterate through it, which is you'll build the agent. Oh, it didn't give me that exact field that I wanted to iterate on with 90% confidence. So how do I reprompt it? How do I do it one more time, right? So there is a sense of patience, but it's so worth it because once you unlock with the value of like, now I don't need to read through 100 documents and have people doing this boring work just to figure out what was the amount of each document. Like that's just huge. It's a huge unlock. So yes, a sense of patience is required.
Yeah, and conviction. People leaning into it will win. And we saw that in the pandemic. And last year at Google Next, we also started to see the ecosystem where Google Cloud and the partners started to see that integration, that code design, that work engineering. This year, and I'm sure we're going to talk a lot at Google Next, the next event, where the rise of the agentic layer, which is basically A to A, where agents have to talk to each other. There's trust involved. You mentioned security. So I have to ask you how you see the agent marketplace affecting the customers in Box, because this extends reach to your customers with more solutions. And we're starting to see the validation of some of our early commentary. We think agents will talk to each other. Models will talk to each other. Big models, small models, multimodal models, all kinds of models that turn into actionable software. How has the AI agent marketplace changed for you guys and impacted your customers?
Yeah, I think it's huge in terms of just that, what you talked about in terms of reach, but it's even like a step forward from reach because when we offer Box AI Agent for the Gemini Enterprise AI Agent Marketplace, what we're really offering is we're making it easier and then a lot simpler for our customers to really capture the power of AI with their content while like directly within being in their own Google Cloud environments, right? So it's you can go to the marketplace, you can work with your content in Box securely, and you can work with your content in other places securely. So I think that's just a huge unlock. And it again goes to a core principle of Box, which is we are a valuable link in the chain. And we truly want to continue being a valuable link in the chain. And I think this is just great from a marketplace perspective. The other thing is just using the 828 protocol, right? We can ensure that the Box AI agent that is tapping into your content is secure, it's interoperable, and it provides a bridge with other agents in Gemini Enterprise, which is also really huge in terms of connecting data stored in Box with business systems. And over time, the unlock becomes because you can go through different agents that have different powers and they can interact securely without leaking data across each other, you get to a point where businesses can automate workflows. And that's just going to generate a completely new different way of like how you work, right? You don't have to manage a workflow. You don't have to think how data passes. It all goes through these agentic systems that you know are secure. So yeah,
Yeah.
super excited.
I love the agent AI, I mean the AI marketplace, because it's really going to give more faster time to value and also get the adoption up. So that's awesome. And I'm looking forward to kind of having those continued conversations. So I have to ask about the other marketplace, which is Google has a cloud marketplace. That's been kind of a business driver perspective. We're seeing a lot of growth on the go-to-market that Google does together. Talk about the business opportunity, the business metrics on the go-to-market side for Box and the Google Cloud Marketplace.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Google Cloud Marketplace really enables customers to easily purchase and adopt all of the exciting content and AI experiences and all of the agents that we've been discussing, right? So the sheer presence of Box in the marketplace reshapes like how companies approach enterprise content management and can they do it at scale. And this really streamlines procurement and these reseller partnerships a little bit more. And Box has started to accelerate its global footprint. So what you have is you can offer customers more flexible billing options, and this maximizes their existing cloud investments while being able to tap into Box.
As the head of AI for Box, I have to ask you to close out, what's your vision as this unfolds? Because again, you guys are in a perfect position with the company's core principles, which is content.
Yeah.
It is a system of record. It's unstructured, it's structured, it's all over the place, which now feeds the AI. How do you see the vision evolving in the next few years? And what are you keeping your eyes on? What are you watching closely in terms of key things to pay attention to, double down on?
Yeah.
What's your focus on that?
Yeah, I'd say, if I were to think through the vision, what are the step changes you're going to see in the next couple of years? The three that I want to call out and, that we're actively driving to make come true is first is just making unstructured content feel structured. So like nobody like ever has to go through the manual process of I need to find something for my data. I don't know where it is. I have so much data and I can't find I have an audit and I can't figure out like, am I compliant or not? Because I have to now dig through all this content, right? So turning unstructured into structured is just like a massive unlock, right?
Yeah.
The second one is we know the best AI is contextual and it's tailored, right? And every business is unique, and we want to actually drive that forward. And we want to help customers really tailor AI. And so, a big lean in that we're doing is we're enabling our customers to build agents with their enterprise content securely, using the best agentic frameworks, using the best tools that are out there that can work in their environment so that truly they can have agents that represent their work, right? So that's part two. And then part three is what we touched on a little bit, which is workflows, right? If you think about just the efficiency gains of agents in workflows, these workflows that have not been reimagined for many years, right? These ones that are manual, they're hard to even ensure accuracy. They require people to do multiple actions across multiple systems, and just being able to not only automate it, but ensure it with agents with a high quality, a higher efficiency, and maybe even a higher performance than what you're having today, you're unlocking so much efficiency that I think this is what drives business growth, right? Because now you have the space to grow.
It's great to have you on. Thanks for sharing. And again, Agents in Action,
Yeah.
that's the title. And we know the Box employees are all coding their own agents. Even the CEO's out there sharing his agents. So, great culture. And again, that, when people are building agents, it's great to see that result. Thanks for coming on and sharing your perspective and what you guys are doing on our Agents in Action series.
Thanks, John.
Okay, I'm John Furrier, host of theCUBE. This is the AI Agents in Action series brought to you by Google Cloud. Thanks for watching.